Hey everybody, welcome to Ongaku Concept. Last week I talked about the importance of transcribing and ear training, and this week I'm going to show you guys how to get started with that, and I'm going to show you how to set up a transcription. So let's go over to MuseScore and get started. I'm going to show you guys how to start a transcription. I think it's important to make sure that your setup is clean and looks good and it's all organized because it really helps you focus on what you're doing. Kind of like how working in a messy room, you kind of have a subconscious anxiety about it, and it's always better to work with a focused, organized environment. So I'm going to show you how to set up a transcription. So the first thing, right now I'm on a website called vgmdb.net, the video game music database. I will explain why in just a second. So let's pick a random song. I was listening to the Atelier Totori soundtrack recently, and I think I want to transcribe one of my favorite pieces, Hepatica. So I've got it loaded up here in Riff Station. You can just make sure that whatever song you want to transcribe, just load it up in an audio player of some kind. QuickTime Player would be just fine for that, or Windows Media Player or something. I use Riff Station because it has some extra features like pitch, movement, tempo changes, and whatnot that make it easier for me to transcribe hard parts. So I have the song loaded up here. And first thing I'm going to do, I've got MuseScore open here. MuseScore is a score editor just like Finale or Sibelius, but it's free and open source, so I like it a lot. It's a really powerful editor, actually. You can use whatever score editor you like. I just prefer MuseScore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new file and put the title. First thing I'm going to do, make sure the title is correct. I'm going to go to VGMDB. Going to search for the soundtrack. Here it is. All right, so here's the soundtrack. The song that I'm looking for is right here. We go. Track 26, disc 2. Curious what the Japanese title is. Interesting. But I'm gonna go with the English title for this. So Hepatica. I'll go ahead and copy that and paste it actually into the title here. For the subtitle, I usually put the album title. I'll just go ahead and put this right into here. Now, composer credits are important, guys. Get your composer credits correct. It's always important. Besides, if you're transcribing stuff, it's important to know what composer wrote it so that you can start studying their style if you like their music. So let's see, it was 26, composed and arranged by Kazuki Yanagawa. So you can just put the name in the composer slot. I like to put music by, just because that's how I do it. In the lyricist slot, for MuseScore, it puts text over on this side. I like to put a transcription credit there. Credit yourself. Transcription is difficult work. Next. So here you can choose instruments in MuseScore. You don't have to start off this way. You can just pick a single instrument and work with that. Depends on what you're transcribing. If I were to do a full score of this, let me see. Okay, so obviously there's a piano. I'm going to choose instruments. I can reorder these later. I'm just going to worry about getting them down right now. There's a piano, of course. Very low drum. I'm not great at my drums. I'm going to assume it's a bass drum of some kind. These can all be changed later. See, that's the thing. I'm not really great at being able to recognize certain types of drums by ear and certain types of percussion by ear. And so it's a good chance for me to go ahead and do some research and look up some of these things. Don't be afraid of transcribing something just because you don't know the name of an instrument. It offers you a great opportunity to look up some of this stuff and get to know what you're working with. But I'm just going to put a bass drum right here. Also, there's a triangle, like right there at the beginning. If you're wondering how to order these, I'm not really worrying about that at the moment. But there's a website called, I have it bookmarked here. I believe it's a website for some school or university or something, but there's like a whole explanation on how to order instruments in a score. So you have your strings at the bottom, your woodwinds at the top, and stuff like that. I'll link it in the description so you can see how to go about that. But right now, I'm just gonna put these in. So we have a pineapple, a triangle, a piano, a bass drum. I want to compose a song with a pineapple. Okay, in the percussion, we also have something that sounds like maybe a hi-hat of some kind. There's a cymbal. I know that much. Wait, why do I not have all instruments selected? I think it's a hi-hat. I'm just going to go with that for right now. And we have, of course, this woodwind. I'm not certain. It's some kind of flute. I'm not sure what exactly that type of flute is. Sounds like a piccolo's range. But I'm guessing, just given the Celtic nature of this soundtrack, that it's probably a tin flute of some kind. Like a tin whistle. So, I'll put that up top. I'm not entirely sure about that, but that's my... Whoops, I did not mean to do that. I removed the instruments. I'm not entirely sure if it's a tin whistle or not, but that's what I'm going to go with as a starting point, and then I'll do some research and see if I was correct later on. It's okay if you don't know exactly what instrument it is. If you have somewhere in the ballpark, it's something that you can notate, and then you can work it out later. What did I delete? I deleted the triangle by accident. Here it is. Okay. Is that all? More comes in later, like a glockenspiel. You can hear that little fill there. Glockenspiel. Move that up. But I'm not going to worry about going through the rest of the instruments because I know there's more stuff later on. Lots of stuff going on. But this will give me a good place to start. So, next. This may seem like a bit of a long, drawn-out process, but I think it's important to make sure that you have your score properly organized before you start working, because it's really, really helpful. You don't have to worry about messing with any of that stuff as you're transcribing. So what key are we in? Let me go back to the beginning. There's the tonal center. Okay. We're in E flat. I'm used to figuring out keys, so it comes easily for me. It may take you a little bit to figure it out at first, and that's okay. The key of E flat has 3 flats. If you don't know your sharp and flat, key signatures, look them up. They follow the circle of fifths. It's pretty easy to memorize. Also, tempo. You don't need to put an exact tempo marking all the time. I like doing it, though, because I like being exact. Riff station is nice because it works out the tempo for you. If you don't know that, you can just guess and then adjust it as needed, maybe by playing your transcription along to the original track or something like that. So 120, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that should be fine. Yes, it's in common time. 4/4 time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay. Yeah. Also, are there any pickup? There actually is a pickup measure. So a pickup measure is an incomplete bar at the beginning of a song. You can hear, like right here, it may be difficult for you to hear, but you can hear the bass drum, or whatever that is, the drum roll into that first note. And actually, it's so fast, I don't think that I need to put it in a previous bar. Actually, I think I'm not going to put a pickup measure at all. I can just put some grace notes or something, ghost notes, before the actual hit, and I don't need to use a pickup measure. Number of bars, I have no idea. I can add more later. So here is the score so far, and it's a little bit messy. That's okay. I've got a lot of instruments going, so I'll just take the page layout and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Move the tempo over here because I like doing that so it's not in the way of notes. It's common. You don't want to have too many bars in one system here, so I'm going to go ahead and use a line break, cut it off at 4, because music tends to be phrased in like 4-bar segments. So, and we can always adjust that as needed later on. I'm also going to add brackets to separate my instruments into groups. So like we have the woodwind, only woodwind in the section so far, pitched percussion, regular percussion, or unpitched percussion I should say. I'm going to group that all into one section. The piano's already got itself bracketed. And that should be good to go. And here we have a score, an empty score ready to start working with. And so here, you start listening. The first thing you would do is you would just pick whatever instrument you want to start with, and then focus in on that and try and hear it and block out everything else. So if I were to listen to maybe listen to the hi-hat. So the hi-hat's just doing, or whatever symbol that is, it's just doing quarter notes. So actually it's doing eighth notes, I'm sorry. One, two, three, four, 1, 2, 3. And then this one seemed to have kind of a roll to it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let me do this. Not sure why there we go. So I'm going to tie these two together because that's how long the roll lasted. And I'm going to put a tremolo here, and I'll attach it here as well. So something like that. And I would just continue on, and sometimes I work in 4-bar segments, so I'll figure out like the hi-hat part for the first 4 bars, and then I'll do the triangle, and then I'll do the bass drum, or what have you. Or other times I'll just go through the entire song and work out what's the hi-hat doing for the entire track, and then go back. Now what's the triangle doing for the entire track? Whatever you prefer to do. But yeah, that's just how you kind of set up a score, and that's how you get started with it. It's important to make sure that you're organized because it helps you work much more smoothly. And of course, all of this can be changed. Again, I'm not entirely certain if this is a hi-hat. It sounds like one to me. I'm not entirely certain if this is a bass drum. But it gives me an opportunity to look them up and do some research and see what I can find out. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments or email me at ongakuconcept@gmail.com. If you want to discuss this topic with other game music fans or share your own transcriptions, I recommend checking out the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/ongakuconceptvgm. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.